What is up, YouTube? McIntyre here. Today I'm bringing you guys the next hero in the A to Z series. Turns out yesterday I uploaded an Anna video when it should have been Alex. I guess that's just too difficult for me to look at the quick match hero screen. For whatever reason, the games in the replays that I had saved had Anna before Alex. I don't know why. I guess I just saved Anna before I played this Alex game. But I'll make sure to kind of try to fix that in the future. But today's going to be Alexstrasza. She's a newer character, so a lot of people still, I think, don't know how to play her very well. So it's exciting that we'll be able to show a gameplay today of her for you guys and go over kind of how to play her. In this game, I'm going to be playing Q build, as I am solo healing. And you'll see why I choose Q build over, E build and W build. Basically, Alexstrasza, since the support nerfs, she's kind of come up, especially in the solo land, where you're kind of having to carry your team. She does a lot of good things on team fight, and for whatever reason, teams really like to fight into Dragon Queen. So if you can get away having the other team charge at your team while Dragon Queen's up, you basically just kind of win the team fight. Obviously, as the other team, if Dragon Queen's popped, you kind of want to kite that and let it drop. It's very hard to fight into Alex with it up, but you'll see with this game, fighting with Dragon Queen, and especially what's the talent called, Cleansing Flame, and team fights, you can kind of keep yourself alive and keep yourself away from dangerous targets such as Genji and Butcher. So we'll start this game up now. Yeah, so basically Alex, she has been nerfed a little bit since the patch, with all the other supports, but she still does pretty good. Again, I just call it solo land, whatever you want to call it, kind of a world where you don't really know what your team's going to be doing, because she has a lot of flexibility in her builds. In this build, I'm going to go Q build, essentially level 1 Q talent. When I'm above 75% health, my Q is 100% cooldown, and this pairs really well with 7 talent, which we'll talk about when we get to 7. But essentially, every time I cast a Q, a Life Blossom spawns, and if I pick up the Life Blossom, then my next Q is free. So with a CDR on Q, you can basically make sure everyone is full health all the time, and you just have to pick up the Life Blossom that drops. So really nice talent, especially with this build. But here we are, wave clearing. Alex actually has decent wave clear as long as you kind of line up your E on the minion wave. Just make sure not to cast it too much. So in a team fight, a lot of the time with Alex, I like to use my Q, then cast the W. And the reason for that is, especially in these early phases, you can get heal from the W to sustain your Q, right? So every time you cast Q, you use your own health. So using your own health and then sustaining your W, you sustain that back. And it's important, very important here when we are solo healing Alexstrasza. Managing your health, especially pre-7, is kind of going to help your effectiveness. So but you'll see, like, pre-7, I try not to cast my Q too much. I usually only cast Q with W up. Again, you don't want to get yourself in a position where you cast your Q and then they go on you and you don't have your W up or ready to go, because at that point you've kind of conceded the ability to fight back. Again, using the W before we dragon form is very important. The reason for this, I'll pause super quick, is when you dragon form, you get bonus health. So that W is going to heal more on yourself. And again, you can't really heal yourself without your W. So you can see here just the effectiveness of dragon form. And yeah, the other team trying to fight into dragon form, it's just not going to happen. Using my E to kite, and yeah, you just want to kind of orb walk. Oh, nice pro player, by the way. You just want to kind of ore block on your attack animation. It's kind of slow, so you can take a few steps as dragon before you attack again. And obviously you want to try to cone attack into your team. In this case, the Cassia played a really good position as far as, you know, where she was standing when we were fighting there between me and the enemy team. Here we can just use our E. There's no reason not to use our E to damage. As long as you're hitting your E, you're getting your mana back, so you're not really losing anything. And then instead of going for the globes, I just back here. A quick tip for BOE in general is if you hit back as the boss dies, you can get on your mount and get to the lane before the immortal is like there, right? So you'll see here, we backed immediately. This immortal is going to do one spin, and we're here with the immortal, so you can get a full back in before. You can see Genji challenges me, but I just want to fight again in my W. I took movement speed on W. In some cases, you know, I think the 4 talent is very flexible. But in this case, I kind of like the movement speed on W. Because it gives my Cassia movement speed. And Cassio movement speed is really, really deadly. So I like the idea of it. Normally I would go movement speed perma for myself. Exuberance. But in this case, I don't know. I explored the idea of Cassia getting movement speed to help her kite or whatever the case might be. So you can see here, like, low health Qs don't really heal for much at all. I'm getting disgusting E stacks here. Look at they're all ignited. I think I'm gonna just dragon form, yeah. Honestly, I don't know if I needed to dragon form there or not. Medivh kind of took that portal back in. We might have been able to win that. Maybe I should have taken, if me and Cassia took the portal in, they were just so weak or so low. All right, so at 7, here's Life Blossom. This is like, I would say a power spike on this build, especially. So while above 75% health, my Q creates a Life Blossom. And if I pick it up, then my next Q cast costs no mana. So, or no health, sorry. So you can see here, I have a Life Blossom on me. And the CDR on my Q is like nuts. So as long as they're not really damaging me, I just keep queuing over and over. So technically, you know, and I'm not the best Alexstrasza player. I understand the concepts of her and like the mechanics of Heroes of the Storm, but you know, right there, I can just basically make sure everyone's full health. Kind of like Ana. I mean, it's kind of like an Ana Q. Truthfully, there's really no reason not to top people off once you have this talent, as long as you can grab the Blossom. So you do have to be a little careful. Like, you know, if I Q to Cassia and spawn a Blossom, and then like Butcher is right beside of her, and then Butcher's like, you know, fresh meat as I'm walking up to grab the Blossom, that's not worth. But like here, you know, I can see blossoming there is kind of sketch, right? Because of where it ended up being. We're getting a lot of heals off. One thing I hope Blizzard does is with the W, when you cast it and you stand in it, it's like a dot almost. It looks like it's a dot healing you. It's very misleading. You can see here, like if I pause right here, you can see like obviously this is my health and this is the health that I'm gonna get, but I don't really like that because there are things that are dot healing you, and this W is not one of them. So it's very misleading. It's one thing that I hope that at some point in time Blizzard changes. Because you like right now, like this is dot, I mean this is hot healing, right? I call it dot, I don't know why, damage over time, healing over time. This is like, I'm regenning right now, right? Because I tapped well. But if I stand in W, it'll represent that same information. So, you know, what is it, right? We end up getting the immortal, and this time around we want to be aggressive here, especially with my ultimate. So I really want to pop dragon early. I don't want the other team to get like an engage on us without dragon being popped. I see that a lot of the time with the Alexstraszas. Oh wow, I see that a lot of the time with Alexstraszas. You know, a team fight happens and then their dragon gets canceled or their cleansing flame gets canceled. You just like never want to put yourself in that position. I look at Alexstrasza's stuff exactly like Tychus Odin, where you just want to do it early and often. Basically, like it's like right here. I want a dragon. I opt a cleansing flame. I remember actually when I cleansing flamed here, I was like, oh, I did not want to cleansing flame there. I wanted a dragon form. But you can even see like the strength of dragon form as we casually, you know, take on a 3v5. Yeah, so 3v5 with dragon form up, we're winning that fight. But I actually had meant to hit D instead of R. They're kind of close to each other on the keyboard, I guess. Not really. But that was a misplay. The other thing about Cleansing Flame that's important is that when you're in dragon form, Cleansing Flame casts instantly instead of taking a few seconds. Which is weird because it doesn't say that anywhere, right? It doesn't say that anywhere about Cleansing Flame in the tooltip. But it's when you're in dragon form, you just immediately take off the second you hit R into the air. Which is pretty sick. But yeah, like here, I could technically just give Darrow a little Q. There's no reason not to, it's free. It's actually probably better that the Muradin got silenced there. Oh, protected by the way. Oh, that was close. So yeah, we're just getting out the camps. You'll see too, like a lot of the time with the Cleansing Flame, especially if you have Dragon Queen going, you can use it to evade abilities even easier. So like in this game, like I remember this point in the game, specifically from this game, that I in my head, I was saying, okay, if Butcher charges me, I'll just hit R and I'll dodge it, right? So you're going to see here, he charges. I hit R. If I had hit R like 0.2, 0.3 quicker, he doesn't hit that charge and I live. In my head, I had that plan, right? That was my escape plan. We would have won that fight, honestly. Had that Cleansing Flame worked. But if I had been in Dragon Queen, then that's even easier, right? That happens even quicker. Honestly, I just needed to be a little further back too. The Butcher charged me not max range. He was like half of his max range, so I had to be really quick about it. I probably could have just assumed once he started charging to just it was gonna go on to me and I should hit R immediately. I heard the sound cue, but then again, that's another thing too that's funny is like, so if you guys watch my stream at all, I'll just go on a random tangent as we burn down the first 50 of this boss. I listen to music a lot when I play, but when I scrim, I don't listen to music at all, and the reason for that is sound cues. A lot of characters have sound cues that are important, just like in Overwatch, right? And I think if I had the sound cue going, then I probably would have dodged the Butcher charge there. Alright, yeah, so we're full health. We're just chilling. We just don't want to get charged by Butcher. That's why I'm staying kind of behind this rock. I'm staying in safety, but I can use my Q to top people off. So if someone else gets charged by Butcher, I cast a W, and then here's where I'm gonna probably Dragon Form. I Shrink Ray, Genji, Dragon Form, and now I'm just like full healing Darrow, right? I get one more Q off, and then now I'm gonna hit the immediate Cleansing Flame. Get nice, juicy 3 stacks. I think it's Task Juxus. Yeah, it does. But yeah, when your team stacks like that, that's the other thing about Cleansing Flame. You get it just gets so much value, like it's absurd. You really don't want to Cleansing Flame if your other stuff is on cooldown. So one important note to take from that team fight, especially, is that, you know, even going into Dragon Form, I QW'd Darrow and then hit Dragon Form and then use, you know, Gust. I use my W, I use my Q, and then immediately when all my cooldowns were down again, I hit Cleansing Flame. And the other reason for that, while we push in here, is if you Cleansing Flame towards the beginning of your Dragon Form, you actually get your W reset again in your Dragon Form, because your Dragon Form duration does not move while you're in Cleansing Flame. However, your CDRs for your abilities while you're in Cleansing Flame up in the air do. So your duration of your dragon pauses, but your CDRs continue to cool down. So this is just us trying to fight, I think, without Dragon and without Cleansing Flame. So it goes to show you how weak we actually are without that stuff. But yeah, so a lot of times you want to go Dragon Queen, use your heal, use your W, Gust him, Cleansing Flame, full Cleansing Flame, hit the ground, then you'll have your W back up, and you'll be ready to, you know, W, Q, E again when you hit the ground. Oh, that's unlucky. I thought we were all out there. Try a Shrink Ray. But in my head, I guess the importance of why that sound cue just like rant was so important is because, you know, in a game like this one where you do have the Butcher, you do have the Genji, you want to react with one of these two abilities as soon as possible when you feel threatened. The other thing in this game that I have to be a little careful of too is Lamb of the Slaughter. Like if Lamb of the Slaughter hits me, I don't know, we just basically instantly lose. But I can outplay it. Like if I hit Dragon Queen, you do get that one iframe on it. So when you like phase out from human to dragon, you're non-existent in game. So you can dodge it there, and then obviously you can dodge it on Cleansing Flame too. I bet if I was if I was Dragon Queen and he went and lammed me and I hit Cleansing Flame, I would take off into the air before it triggered and silenced me. Here I could just heal the Murden. So this is what I was talking about before, where I'm not like an Alex player, really. Like, truthfully, I should just heal the Murden here. Like, there's just no reason for him not to be full health. So I kind of figured it out. I pieced it together. But you can do that more often, especially with this Q build. Other builds that you would be going are like full W build. W build's really good on maps where you fight over an objective, like Infernal Shrines. Your team's gonna, you know, multiple people are gonna be standing in your W. Sky Temple, right? And then you have E build. I'm starting to not like E build. The more I've played her, especially after the nerfs to her healing, you just kind of need more tools to sustain yourself outside of landing E's. Because like in this team fight right now, like how many E's am I landing on the other team, right? None at all. So if I'm relying on my E to sustain, then I'm, you know, you don't really get double supports as much as you used to. Whereas like before, Alex was kind of like this battle support. At least that's how she played. So in this team fight, Genji goes on me, immediately Dragon Queen. And you can see here, I get lammed. However, Medivh has a great freeze, and then I get my Cleansing Flame off. So I'm just Cleansing Flame everyone. Oh my gosh, so much value on that ability. This was a gutsy move. I wasn't not healthy. But we ended up picking up a lot of kills there. I guess I've been talking about Shrink Ray, but I haven't really talked about taking the talent. So we took Pacify, obviously really, really powerful in these team fights. And really, really effective against Genji Dragonblade. Oh, look, Genji Dragonblade on the other team. Yeah, I mean, Shrink Ray just, you can't really go wrong with it. And this is like a super powerful one as well, because this is basically classic Shrink Ray. They nerfed Shrink Ray on most characters. I guess I'm just thinking about Tassadar. But I say this is classic Shrink Ray because it makes your model smaller, it slows you down, and it nerfs your attack damage. Also, you know, in this case, healing a stun, silence, or rooted ally gives you CR on it as well. So, Taunt is a silence, Lamb is a root, Charge is a stun. So, if I heal any target that's getting hit by that, then I'll get CDR. So I can get maybe double shrinks and team fight. And then at 16, I just took Dragon Queen to duration. I want to be in Dragon Queen as long as possible against this team. This was a weird play. I was not really ready for my team to be going and doing stuff like this. You can see how effective these heals are in the late game, especially with the Q build. Just how much I can. Oh, I didn't expect that either. Just how much I can sustain my team, right? So we hit 20. And in this game, I took Dragon Form out of Cleansing Flame. And this is just going to give me more time in Dragon Form. Again, I just want to be in Dragon Form as much as possible. Oh, almost killed the Genji myself. So now I get more okay, so there is actually an adjustment that needs to be made here. Essentially, when you take this talent, now you want to hit this ability and then, you know, almost open with this ability in a team fight, so that you land Dragon Form. And then you can Dragon Form again later on, right? I think that's how I'll end up using it, but more or less you just want to be in Dragon Form as much as possible. I'm not really sure on this, so I'm not going to confirm or deny it. I want to say if you're in Dragon Queen and you use Ruby Wings, it adds 15 seconds to the duration of your already present Dragon Queen. But again, I don't think that doesn't sound like that's the case. At least that's not how I've played it here. I just assume you want to hit this Cleansing Flame, then fall out and be a dragon, and then you can recast Dragon Queen later and be a dragon again. Which is nice though, because you can stagger when you're Dragon Queen, right? And you get Dragon Queen twice in a team fight, which is really powerful. Like imagine having one big Odin form, and then imagine having a second Odin form that just doesn't last as long. That'd be OP if Tychus could cast Odin 2 times in a team fight. So that's kind of what this is. That's basically what this is. Just imagine it that way, and that's when it would be like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. That actually sounds pretty wild. That sounds pretty strong. It's like, yeah, pretty OP. I don't know. I had so much faith for Alexstrasza, so. But yeah, so talking about W build though, it's like really good on maps like Infernal and Sky Temple. And then E build, kind of dead build. I'll have both of those builds up on Heroes Hearth if you guys want to check them out. Yeah, here I did a good job of healing Dara there. They definitely have more race than us. To get the Dragon Form, you do have to hit multiple people though, so. Oh, I stepped into it. Oh, nice. I actually... Okay, so we'll see if we get an increased duration. was like right around here or something. Oh yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, so that is exactly how that works. If you're in Dragon Queen and you ult, you get 15 seconds added. So we can confirm it in this video. So sick. So you can still go into team fights the exact same way. Activate Dragon Queen, fight. You know, put your cooldowns down, cleansing flame. Then you get increased duration on your dragon. So you can probably get like three W's off in a team fight if you actually stagger it correctly. But you see here now, we just core them out. Overall, a really good game. I mean, I think this game is a good example of playing against a team that all-ins. And against a team that all-ins, as long as you're not the one that's getting all-in as Alexstrasza, like, you can be really effective in the team fights, right? Like, Shrink Ray is super powerful. Your Dragon Queen's super powerful against all-in. Cleansing Flame obviously shuts down any sort of all-in that they could be trying to attempt against you. Yeah, I mean, if the other team doesn't have poke, then you're in a pretty good place. And even if they do, as we have the MVP screen here, I mean, even if the other team has poke, as long as you play around your W correctly, you should be able to sustain yourself enough that, you know, you're not just completely useless in a team fight. It does help that the other team came into us, and again, they fought into the Dragon Queen this game, but God, that sound is absolutely terrible. Okay, cool. It stopped. Perfect. Yeah, it is good that the other team came into us on this map and with their comp, but that's why on maps like, you know, Alexstrasza's best maps are maps like Infernal and Sky Temple, where the other team has to come into you to fight, right? Like, if you pop Dragon Queen on Infernal Shrines, then you're killing the skeletons, right? And that means the other team has to respond to you killing the skeletons. And how do they respond? They have to come into you. And in that case, that's like premier, like, this is what we want as Alexstrasza, right? So think about that when you pick this character in draft and in Hero League. You know, you have some sort of an idea behind it, right? Don't just draft it because you need a healer and you don't know what else to play. Draft it because maybe the other team has a strong all-in, and you can counter all-in them with Alexstrasza, right? Or, you know, you want to have a sustained healer that does percent healing, right? So maybe have heavy frontline, double, like Sonya, Arthas, something like that, right? If you W for those two, then you're healing huge chunks of health with a percent health off of your W to sustain them, right? So think about your comp, think about your draft, and then obviously you have Cleansing Flame. Like, maybe you need a support that can't get dove, right? In this case, Alexstrasza is pretty good at that. As long as Dragon Queen's up or you get your Cleansing Flame off, that there's no way to dive this character. So she's pretty good against sort of dive comps for that reason. As long as, you know, she's not just getting CC stunned out. Whereas she's terrible against heroes like Stitches, right? She's really bad against the Stitches comp, or a pick comp that has displacement, because she's low mobility and she needs to stand still and hold her ground in order to fight. So characters that make my ground be not held, like Falstad or something like that, yeah, can be terrifying. So think about that when you play this character. She's a lot of fun. She's probably one of the more fun supports, in all honesty. I think Blizzard did a pretty cool job with her kit. I love kaiju sort of transformation heroes. I always have. I've always been a huge fan of. I keep bringing up Odin on Tychus, but I've always been a huge fan of Tychus Odin. It's just fun to, like, I don't know, morph in games like this, right? It's always been fun to do that for me, and have, you know, the ability to transform into, like, this all-powerful mode. And I think Illidan with meta, like, always created that mind for me. But yeah, really cool character. If you guys enjoyed this video, please make sure to throw a like and subscribe. Check out my Twitch and Twitter. There's going to both be in the description, as well as you can check out my tier list and builds over at heroeshearth.com. That will also be in the description. Check that out. I got blog posts that I post there every once in a while as well, so pretty good reads. But that's going to be it for today's video. So appreciate it, guys, so much. And until the next time, I'll see you then. Cheers, guys.